Hey Crosswatchers for Gemini, welcome to your Crosswatcher video for August 2019. We're going to jump in here and see what is coming up. For those of you curious about a Gemini in your life, if you're a Gemini and you're watching the video just to kind of see if I'm right or not, keep in mind these are general readings. Some may apply, some may not. And also, maybe your person's not cross-watching tarot readings. Maybe they're not into tarot. So I'm doing this reading with the intention that the messages that come up are beneficial and helpful to all involved. We're not doing this in a sneaky, spying kind of way. We want information that's going to be helpful for Crosswatcher, for Gemini, and just be good for everyone. So let's see what's coming up in August for people who are curious about a Gemini in their life. One more good little shuffle here. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5. Okay, so we have 8 of Pentacles coming up here for those of you who are cross-watching about Gemini. So this is going to be a card that lets us know somebody is putting in a lot of work and a lot of effort. Okay, so if you are dealing with someone who say they're like really focused on something right now, maybe they're trying to put their all into work, or sometimes the 8 of Pentacles could be a card about like really studying very hard or trying to study and like learn everything that you can about a subject. So if there's a Gemini who's been talking about they've been busy, or like if I've been focused on school or something like that, they're telling you the truth. Okay, this is the foundation of the energy here is a lot of hard work. For some of you, this could also be a Gemini is trying and working really hard to show you that they're invested in the relationship, or that they're working on themselves in some way. When we see 8 of Pentacles, this is like super, super hard work. Somebody who's really giving something their all. They haven't received the fruits of their labor just yet, but they're really putting everything that they can into it because they're taking it seriously and they want to be successful and they want it to do well. So this is a lot of effort. Gemini is putting out a lot of effort in August. Next we have the Justice card, and this is Major Arcana. Okay, so some of you may be a Libra or have Libra in your moon or rising, and this could be a factor in the connection between the two of you and some of the things that might be going on or affecting maybe the outcome of situations. But overall, generally, this is a Major Arcana card, so this lets us know that this is a very significant time for your connection with Gemini, or a very significant time in Gemini's life. There could be concerns or worries regarding a court case. Sometimes that could be a situation. So 8 of Pentacles could be somebody really preparing or studying or doing a lot of work before some kind of a legal proceeding. That could be taking a lot of their time or their concern. Typically, though, to have the Justice card come up, it could indicate usually that the legal proceeding will be in their favor, or that it will go well. For many of you, this is more so the balance between the heart and the mind, and fairness in this relationship, fairness and boundaries. Okay, so this could be a relationship, Crosswatcher, that's challenging you to have that fair balance, and to be able to speak up, and to be able to be clear about what your expectations or requirements are, or what you're wanting or what you're expecting. The Justice card is about like doing the right thing. I'm hearing that some of you are dealing with a Gemini who was like a bit of a player, like maybe back in the day, or maybe even up until now, which isn't surprising. No shade towards Geminis, but Geminis can be very charming. They can be very social. They can get bored very easily. They're very much social butterflies. So maybe this Gemini up until now really hadn't been in that focused energy, right? But we know they're in focused energy because we have that 8 of Pentacles there. They're really working on their life. They're working on themselves. They're putting effort and energy into a situation. And the Justice card can indicate that they're doing what they can to do the right thing, or wanting to do the right thing. Next, we have the Hanged Man, another major arcana card. This card has come up a couple of times. So this is maybe like an ongoing theme in August for some people. There could be something in the collective or cosmic energy that we seem to have this card resurfacing in several of the readings. And I know people get really upset when they see the Hangman card because they feel like, why are we getting the Hangman card, and you know, it means nothing's gonna happen and everything's gonna be standing still, and they get upset. They forget the fact that the Hangman card is a major arcana card, which means that this is something in which there's some level of divine intervention. There's something cosmically happening here where you are in this moment now, and there's a reason for the pause. You are being asked to look at this situation from another angle, or maybe from all angles. There might be something that you're missing, and I've said this in previous readings. For me, over the years, pulling this card for other people or for myself, I have found it kind of has this ongoing theme, or I've seen it surface in this ongoing theme, where it's the whole thing of be careful what you wish for because you just might get it, right? You might be very intent on this person. You might really be wanting this to work out, but this is saying that if you're patient enough, you know, it can happen. They can come around, it can happen. But it might not be really what you want because there's certain things about the situation you haven't paid attention to, you haven't looked at, right? That doesn't mean the relationship can't be successful, but it does mean that it can only be successful if you go into it aware, fully aware of what, sorry. It can only be successful if you go into it fully aware and realistic about what maybe some of the issues may be, or some of the, you know, personality traits or things that you may be dealing with, right? Otherwise, that's why people get into relationships and they say, oh, this person changed, or this person was pretending to be somebody else and their true colors showed, and now, you know, like, we can't be together. Well, yes, it does sometimes happen that people can change or show true colors, but usually it's there and we don't see it. Like, let's be honest. Usually it's already there and we don't see it. And then after the fact, we're like, oh, okay, I guess maybe there were signs of that in the beginning, right? And that's what the Hangman is saying. It's like, really look at this from all angles. Is this really what you want? And, you know, pay attention to those things that might be issues later, right? And if you're like, okay, all right, I see them, I see what might be issues, but I still want to be with this person, awesome, amazing. Now you can go into it prepared, and now you have a better chance of things succeeding. But, you know, the Hangman overall is letting us know that there might not be massive or huge changes for you in the month of August in terms of, you know, like relationships moving ahead or things like that. There could even some cases things happening that feel like delays, but it's simply happening because you're being given time to look at the situation from all angles. Okay, the Hanged Man isn't about things ending. It's this pause, it's this lull, and there's a reason for it. It's not because you are doomed to be bored and have an uneventful life. It's because before things can move forward, certain things need to be seen and acknowledged. And the sooner you can see them, the sooner you won't need to be in that Hanged Man space or that Hanged Man energy. So it's something for you to think about. We'll pull, you know, I'm going to pull clarifiers. What does Crosswatcher need to know about the Hangman as it pertains to them in Gemini in the month of August 2019? What does Crosswatcher need to know? We have 10 of Wands. We have Page of Wands. We have Page of Swords. So those of you who are preparing to have a talk about what's going on, where things are going, or why somebody's been distant, or why things don't seem to be moving ahead, or when are things going to move ahead, 10 of Wands, Page of Wands, and Page of Swords. Page of Swords to me does give me a sense of feeling there's going to be a communication, there's going to be a discussion, a truth is going to be revealed. The truth is going to be in the 10 of Wands and the Page of Wands. 10 of Wands is saying, I've got a really full plate. I'm really stressed out. You know, I'm not where I want to be at, but I'm almost there. I'm working on it. And Page of Wands could be somebody that has a bit of a short attention span, or just somebody who is still figuring things out. Like, this is very new to them. They're eager about the relationship. They're eager about the situation, but they have not yet fully developed their skills to master being able to show up in the way that you want them to show up. This also makes me feel, for some reason, some of you are dealing, especially those of you who are dealing with a Gemini who maybe was a bit of a player, or like a bit of a partier. Like, if you're dealing with a Gemini that has a past of like being a partier, I feel this person has a lot of experience in terms of like being, sexually active or anything like that. But with the Page of Wands, this makes me feel like this relationship, it's a little bit different. It's a different dynamic. Like, they're not sure what to do, because I feel some of you are dealing with somebody who's just kind of used to really random, really quick, like in and out, no pun intended, just in and out, one and done kind of like life. Like, there hasn't been a whole lot of maybe physical intimacy. So I kind of feel like they're kind of pacing themselves with that, or they're getting used to that. And so some of you might need to be patient in that situation as well. And there could be a discussion about this. They might flat out like tell you this, but Page of Swords does make me feel like there is truth being spoken. There is communication. And the truth that's being spoken with Page of Swords is like, it's in a calm way. It's like in a logical way, like a problem solving way even. So I do feel this person is gonna like open up and talk about some of the things that they're facing, or some of the things that they're dealing with. But I just feel, for whatever reason, Crosswatcher, you are a very new experience for this Gemini. Like, they're still trying to figure it out, even though they might not be a child, even though they may have had a lot of experience dating. They may have had many, boyfriends or girlfriends in the past. They may have had many relationships, but something about this connection for them makes them feel very much like this is like a first time kind of situation. They've not encountered this kind of connection, or they've not really encountered somebody like you before. And so this is a very like they're wrapping their head around it. Keep in mind, you had that Justice card. That's a pretty significant energy to come up as a karmic energy between two people, because it's, again, trying to do the right thing. Fairness, integrity, balance. And this might be a new territory for some of the Geminis that some of you are dealing with. Not all of them, but for some of them. Overall, this does seem like, I do think Gemini is eager about seeing where things go with you, but, this is not going to be a really fast kind of situation. That's why you had the Hangman. Like, they're all about this, they're eager about this, but this is going to take some time, okay? So you have to go into this knowing, like, you can't really rush, the timetable here. If you have a timetable in your head where you're like, okay, well, we should date for like 3 months, and then I should meet the family, and then we should date for 6 months, and then we should go away on vacation, and then we should be engaged, and then we should be married by this time, or whatever time frame you were thinking in your mind, you're going to have to chuck that out of the window. And there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to like kind of move things or work things to that time frame. It's going to happen when it happens. And you're just going to have to deal with that if you want to be with this person. For the majority of you, you might not want to deal with that. You might feel like, I don't have the time for that. And that's awesome. At least right? But this person is not going to be forced or pushed into like an expectation or a time frame, because even though this is something that they're enthusiastic about and they want to explore it with you, they are gonna have to go in their time frame, like as they're comfortable, and that's something that you're gonna have to keep in mind. Next, you have Seven of Cups, right? What did I say about Gemini? Gemini is very social. Gemini can have a short attention span. Like, they need things to be interesting. They can lose interest quickly. So this Gemini, some of you are dealing with somebody who does have a lot of other options. This doesn't always have to mean options in terms of people Although some of you, you do know it's early on in meeting this person or connecting with this person, and you might know that, yeah, there's a lot of people around this Gemini, and they might be kind of like, okay, well, what do I want to do? But it doesn't necessarily have to be people. They could be thinking about, what do I want to do? Do I want to like take my money and go travel for a while? Do I want to go back to school and get a degree? Do I want to do a career change and focus on that? Do I want to get in a relationship? Do I want to be married? Do I want to move in with someone? They might just be thinking about all the different things that are available to them in life right now. And Seven of Cups is saying that they can be very overwhelmed with all of that. Okay, so they're not trying to like avoid having a conversation with you, or they're not trying to avoid telling you what they want. If you're putting them in the corner, like, you need to tell me where this is going, or you need to tell me what your intention is, they don't know what their intention is. They're trying to figure it out. And if you don't have time for them to figure it out, then that's okay. But understand and know this is someone that needs time to figure some stuff out right now and figure out like really what they want and where they're going and what they're doing. Okay, it's not like because you're not good enough or because they're like holding out for what's better. Like, they're just trying to figure out like, well, what do I want my life to look like? You know, do I want to be with somebody right now? What's going to be the good thing for me? And they might be a little bit overwhelmed, right? They might be a little bit overwhelmed by that. Next, we have Eight of Swords. And Eight of Swords has also come up a couple of times in some of the Crosswatcher readings. Eight of Swords can be feeling very stuck and feeling very discouraged, okay? Sometimes it can come up where it feels like, to me, when it comes up sometimes between people in a relationship, the vibe I get from it is like you might feel stuck because you might feel like your whole future kind of depends on what this other person is going to decide. Like, you're like, well, I'm on the back burner, or I'm putting myself on the back burner, I'm putting my life on hold until this person figures out what they want to do. And if they don't want it, if they're not all about it, then, you know, I can move on and I can like try to find somebody else, but I don't want to move on in case they're going to want me later. And like, so sometimes Eight of Swords can be somebody who's put themselves on hold in that way. For some of you, you've gone through a lot of hard things and you feel this connection with this Gemini and you really want to be with them and you're hoping that this is going to be the one, or you're hoping this is going to be the person, and you're just in this energy of like them wanting for them to help pull you out of this difficult situation. Like, life would be so much easier if Gemini would just get it together, and then we could help each other through life, or we could be there for each other, right? But you're wanting to move forward with Gemini, and until Gemini does that, you're feeling stuck. So Eight of Swords has a message for you. You're not as stuck as you think you are. Like, even when you see this ribbon that's around her, it's not pulled around her that tightly. She can very easily wriggle her way out of that. And then she can pull that blindfold off of her. And then she would be able to see those swords aren't even all the way around her. She could very easily walk out of that very like makeshift kind of cage. It's not even really a cage. I mean, look at it. Like, she has a way out. So it's saying that this feeling trapped, it's an illusion. And there's a scenario I give with the Eight of Swords because it came to me once in meditation. It was very profound to me, and it just kind of stuck with me, and I think it's a logical one. So if you're one of my regular viewers, if you're tired of hearing me say it, I do apologize, but it needs to be said because some people forget or they haven't heard it. Eight of Swords for me is that energy of like, if you're thinking about this little baby seal that's like out in the ocean and it's bleeding and it's injured and it genuinely needs help, right? It's in this predicament of no fault of its own, right? It's not its fault that it's injured, and it genuinely needs help, and it's just out in the ocean, maybe like crying or like bleeding. Who's gonna pick up on that first? Is it gonna be the other seals that are gonna rush to it? Or is it gonna be a shark from God knows how far away that's gonna pick up the smell of that blood and come rushing? It's gonna be the predator. So anytime we're in this stuck energy, or we're in this energy like needing to be rescued or wanting to be rescued, unfortunately, even though you may really deserve to have somebody come in and be a knight in shining armor, it's going to attract someone that's attracted to that energy of the helplessness. and somebody that maybe might take advantage of it. That doesn't mean that all of you cross watchers who are watching are stuck. And that doesn't mean that all of you cross watchers that are watching are dealing with a Gemini who's a predator, because this is a general reading and the energies apply in many different ways and the cards apply in many different ways. But for some of you, where if you're feeling used, or if you're feeling like this person just, is taking what's good for them from this, and you're just wanting them to reciprocate a little bit more, like you're giving because you think if you give, they're going to come back and take you with them and pull you out of this, Eight of Swords. That's most probably going to be difficult to happen because of the energy that gets pulled into that needing to be rescued. Okay, I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm not trying to be negative or discouraging. And again, it does not apply to all of you. It's just some of you, and if that's the situation that you're in. So if that's the case, with Eight of Swords, I would definitely take that into meditation, and I would pray, like, what are some things that maybe can bring about healing or to help you get your power back in the situation, okay? Because until that is addressed, it's not going to be Gemini's fault. It's not going to be any other zodiac sign's fault. You will find people that continue that pattern. It's not about the zodiac sign or the astrology. So let's go ahead and take a look at what messages are coming in for you. Eight of Swords. Let's pull clarifiers. What does Crosswatcher need to know about Eight of Swords as it pertains to them and Gemini? We've got Page of Pentacles. We've got the Chariot. And we've got the Five of Wands. Okay. So Five of Wands is like competing goals here, right? And if you want what you want right now, like this moment, this instant, it's going to be best for you to go in a different direction. If you can give this time to grow, Page of Pentacles, this is something that's going to need time to grow. Then, it is something that can move along, right? But this Five of Wands is telling us that there could be some conflict here in timing, okay? And it's going to be best for you not to put yourself on the back burner for those of you who are finding yourself in that situation. It's going to be best for you to, head in a direction that's going to make you happy or bring you joy. Maybe there's certain things that you really want to do right now that you can't, but what can you do right now? And as you're doing that, as you're getting into that energy, that's going to help the relationship move along too. Okay, a lot of people say, oh, well, when is my soulmate gonna, figure it out and do their work? And, when is my soulmate gonna, wake up and be a better person or heal or be ready for the connection? And sometimes we're really hurting and we're really healing. But what we don't realize is when we work on ourselves and we do our own healing, it's like this energy that reaches out to our soulmates as well. So the more we can focus on what we can heal within ourselves, the more the relationship is going to improve. Okay, so some of these improvements that you're wanting to see, your partner or your Gemini is going to begin improving as you're improving. Your Gemini is going to begin healing as you're healing. Your Gemini is going to be more prepared as you're more prepared. So look at what are some things in which maybe you're feeling stuck or you're feeling held back. Okay, and that can be very helpful or beneficial here in this situation. But overall, the cards tell a story here of somebody who's enthusiastic about this. They want this, they are into this, they do seem to be genuine, but this is not something that can be rushed, right? Or even if you've been with this person for a long time, you're already in a relationship with them, they're just going through a phase of figuring things out right now, right? And so, and they're wanting to maybe find their new identity in this stage in their life, where they are now, where things are right now. And whatever your hope is or whatever your goal is right now or wherever you're wanting to go with the relationship, they're not going to be rushed. They can't do that right now. It's going to be too overwhelming for them. So it's something to keep in mind. You know, this is maybe like find something that is going to make you happy and keep you busy while they're getting their stuff together, because they need some time right now in figuring some stuff out. But I don't see anything here that indicates like they want to break up or they don't want to be with you. They just need like a little bit of maybe autonomy right now, and to just enjoy, you know, the time that you all have together as well. So I hope that's helpful. These are general readings. It's not going to resonate 100% for every single person. Do check out your love forecast or your love reading for your zodiac sign for August. The links for those are in the description of the video. You may also need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do. If you click on the Calendly link, you can go ahead and schedule your private reading with me there. I thank you so very much for watching, my dears. Have a fabulous August.